Alright, so in this lesson, we're going to be learning about comments. So what are comments? So comments are just simply little notes that you can leave throughout your code for other developers and programmers to read. So why do we leave these comments in our code? Well, the answer is simple, and it's the fact that if you think about it, if, say, for example, you learned how to code 2 years ago, and you wrote this 1,000-line long program, and you shared it with another developer, and your programming style has probably evolved a little bit since then. You've probably gotten a little neater about things, you've learned different programming techniques. Your programming style is probably different over that 2-year span of time. So think about this. If you wrote this program this long ago, and it's probably going to be a mess, and if you didn't comment your code, you would probably have no idea what you were trying to program. Other developers would probably have no idea what you were trying to program. So these comments, they really make your code cleaner, and you can use them to describe the logical flow of your program for other developers to read and understand, and even yourself. So why comment? They allow us to organize our code better. It makes reading it easier and understanding it easier, and it also allows us to debug our code easier. For instance, if you had a certain segment of code that wasn't working properly, you could comment out different sections of code and disable those lines from running. And lastly, how can we actually add comments into our code? The syntax is really simple. It's just like this. So we have a print statement that prints out hello world, and right above it we have a comment that describes what this program's doing. So it just says that this program displays hello world. So the general syntax again, it's that number sign followed by your comment. Let's take a look at this in the editor. Alright, so as you can see, I'm here in PyCharm. I'm going to go over here, I'm going to hit create a new file. So I'm going to right click on unit 1, do new file. We'll call this lesson2.py. Now, I didn't point this out in the last lesson, but you want to have this .py file extension because this indicates to the computer that you're writing a Python file. For instance, if you had lesson2.html, that would be a totally different file, and your computer would follow different instructions to actually run this file. So we want to specify that this is a Python file, so we're going to do .py and just hit OK. So I'm also going to go back to my lesson1.py file, and I'm going to copy this code. I'm going to paste it in my new lesson2 file, and at the top of it I'm just going to add a comment that's describing what this program is doing. And there we go. So if I go over here and hit run, we can hit run, edit configurations, and we want to change our script path to lesson2.py. We want to have Python 6, and we'll call this lesson 2, so we will apply and hit run. And you see down here, we get the same output as we did the first time. So these two print statements get run. So we print my name, and we also print I really like Python. And I'll add one more just to show that this is actually working. Hello world. I'm going to save it. I'm going to run this configuration again. And you can see we also get hello world as an output again. Now what happens if I comment out this entire line? So if I just put a hashtag right before it, and now I save it, and I run it, you'll notice that this line goes away. So that just shows you how we can easily debug our code by disabling lines without entirely deleting them. So I'll just save that, and run it again. And that's commenting. Now for those of you who are using PyCharm and not Cloud9, PyCharm has this one really cool feature called to-do. So if I do comment TODO, and then I can just say write Python, you'll notice it changes the color of this to blue. And if I just save this, I can come down here and click on to-do, and it finds this one to-do thing that I have, which just says to do write Python. So you can keep track of things you have to do in PyCharm by just adding this comment and then to do it. So that's commenting.